Hello everyone, this is Griffin Station back here with another Jump Force video, and in this video I will be talking about some updates we've gotten for DLC Pass and also for patch notes for the game. Now the game has now just officially released in Japan. It's going to be releasing tonight in America, and it's probably at the point of this video being uploaded will be available to the rest of the world on PS4 and Xbox One for those who have gotten the standard edition of the game. So on the official website for Jump Force in Japan, we have new DLC tab, which basically details the season pass, which is labeled as a character pass. Now, yesterday in my video about Kaiba, we had some information that basically stated that there could potentially be a season pass which would release 3 packs of characters and a stage all in one. And so we sort of got confused. We were wondering if this would end up actually being the case, where we would be getting 3 packs of 3 characters, and then that would be it, and that would be the release schedule of the characters, or if we were going to follow a sort of incremental 1 character per DLC. But after this website update, it looks like that they are going 1 character per DLC. I translated this, and with the help of Bilbzy, while I was translating, he typeset this, which made it a lot easier, and made it easier for me to make this video on time. It basically says that 9 new playable characters join the fight. The playable characters, there will be 9 of them, that they have avatar suits, which I assume are their costumes. They're using the word suits here just to reference their outfit. And we're also getting playable characters, their customizable special move. And this special move is actually an interesting phrase. In Japanese, it would usually just be the kanji for waza, which means their skills, which is when you hold R2 on PS4 and press square, triangle, or circle. Those are the moves. But this specifically says special moves, and that's not the Ultimate Awakenings moves, because that is labeled something different in Japanese as well. So I don't really know how to interpret the special moves portion of this, but I am taking it with just a grain of salt and saying that it could encompass either an Ultimate Awakening in terms of an ultimate special move, or it could be talking about skills, and they're just using this broad term of special moves to cover all bases. So if some, let's say, characters' moves don't make it into the game, people can't necessarily complain about false advertising. Then the asterisk says DLC character packs 1 through 9 will be released sequentially, which, as I stated, is confirming that we'll be getting a character 1 at a time rather than in a pack of 3. Of course, this could always change. This isn't confirmed. It says please stay tuned for new updates, and so they could always change their mind, and please wait. If we go down a bit further on the page, we also have some actual information about the Season Pass. It basically details and shows off what we'd be getting in comparison to what we had previously seen. In a character pack, we get 1 playable character, we get an avatar costume for that character, which is basically the avatar suit that I was mentioning earlier, and we also get the character's special moves. Now, this is going to roughly cost around $4 to $5 in United States dollars. We know that it's going to be costing 400 yen in Japan, and so $4, $5 is probably a safe estimate. We also do know that the Season Pass is going to cost 3,000 yen in Japan, and so we can roughly guess that it's probably going to be around $30 in the US and probably in other countries, especially since when you have the Season Pass in terms of the Deluxe Edition, it raises the price of the game from $60 to $90. So it's pretty safe to bet that the Season Pass will in fact be $30. Now, something that isn't on the website, because everything else on the website is specific to Japan, and I assume if you're in Japan, you can read it and you don't need this video, and if you aren't in Japan and can't read Japanese, then it doesn't apply to you. It's essentially just the different editions you can order in Japan and the different perks that you can get from ordering from specific retailers, specific console exclusive items, etc. We have some patch notes, which is really great to see that they're going to be doing patches, and it looks like that they're going to be doing them pretty frequently. I wouldn't say maybe like every week, but it looks like that we could be seeing patches maybe every 2 weeks or so. At least at the beginning of this game, maybe as the months go on, they might support it less and less, but it's looking like pretty promising so far. In patch 1.01, which will be releasing on February 14th, we have avatar suits, or suits. It could be suit or suits, plural. Japan doesn't really use plurals in terms of adding an S to the end of their words to encompass the meaning of multiple, so we'll just have to wait and see if we're getting more than one character costume. I assume we will be, but we'll literally just have to wait and see. We're getting some improved story cutscenes, so the animations are going to be fixed, at least in some of the cutscenes. I know a lot of people are complaining about this, and so it's really nice to see that they're actually going to improve these cutscenes. We're going to be getting improved stability, so if you're having any frame rate problems or anything, that's really nice to see. We're getting some improved loading times, which is also great. I know a lot of people on console were complaining about loading times. I didn't have too big of a problem with loading times on PC. I do have the game on PS4 as well, so I'll have to wait to see how the game plays after patch 1.01 in terms of loading times. And then its general bug fixes. There's a specific bug on PS4 with the left analog stick. I'm not too sure what it is, but it seems like they're fixing it in patch 1.01. So if you were suffering from some left analog stick glitch, hopefully it's fixed for you now. So on February 14th, we're also getting another patch, which is version 1.02. Some of the improvements we're getting are battle improvements, so it's encompassing things such as fast dodging, we're getting counter dashing, timing. It's just fixing the overall feel of a lot of these mechanics, and that's really exciting to see. I know some people find it difficult to, let's say, do fast dodging, counter dashing, and there's some times where you do something after your opponent does something afterwards and you feel your attack should have priority, and then after they get priority. They're probably just tweaking the numbers in this and just making it smoother overall. And then below that, it's other improvements to the battle system. It's probably just minor things that don't need to be really addressed, but they're listing it anyways, saying that there's other changes going on under the hood. We then have another patch, which is version 1.03. This is releasing in February, but it doesn't have a solid release date. So it could be anywhere from February 15th to the end of the month. And so it'll be in the next 2 weeks, though, at least according to this website. So that's really good to hear. We have skippable cutscenes, and I know a lot of people needed this because I got a lot of complaints when I was streaming the story mode. I didn't complain myself personally because it gave me time to talk to chat and stuff, but I know a lot of people want skippable cutscenes because this story mode is long, and some of the cutscenes are pretty long, and the animations themselves aren't too great, and so they aren't sometimes really fun to watch. Of course, they're fixing some of the story events, and so it will probably look and feel better by the time we get to patch 1.03, but I can understand if people want to skip it, especially if you're playing the story mode for a second time. I don't know if you can actually play it for a second time, but if you can and you just want to race through it, skippable cutscenes will save your life. We then have stability improvements, which should be obvious. They're always going to be pushing for better stability, and I'm really glad to see that. Then we have changes that will be made in the future. So this has no set date, and this is more broad ideas, but this is also just amazing to see that they're going to continue supporting past these couple of patches. I think it should be pretty obvious considering these patches are getting numbered, such as 1.02 rather than 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. We have things we can intend to continue working on. loading into the lobby. Basically, they're trying to reduce the time for this. We're also getting some battle adjustments, so maybe they're going to tweak some numbers with characters, maybe just mechanics overall. It's just the battle system in general. They're going to be adjusting as time goes on. They're going to improve online functionality. So if you were having some problems with online, I actually haven't played online yet, so I don't know how the functionality is. But if you're having problems with online functionality, hopefully this will help. I did have a problem logging into Jump Force for a time on my stream yesterday, and so maybe it's also just the servers in general they're fixing, but it's overall functionality improvement, so that's really cool. And then the last bullet point before we get to the asterisk is listening to fan feedback. So they're going to be listening to us. Let's say if we say that a character's super broken or super weak, they're going to be able to go look at that, be like, do we agree or not? If they agree, then they'll go ahead and try to fix it to make the game more fun and more balanced for us all. And then the asterisk basically says the release dates for this could be subject to change. There's no hard release date, so they don't really have to worry about that. So that's all of the patch notes that we have so far. These are a lot of great things that we're seeing coming to this game, all in February, and I assume that we're going to be getting some events and some other stuff in the near future as well. Maybe not the month of February, but we could be seeing some really cool stuff coming in March in terms of maybe new patches and also just new content. Also, I do want to clarify that this patch is releasing in Japan, but this does not mean that this is coming over to the US and Europe and any country in the West. We could be seeing this patch come out now in Japan, not to maybe have to wait a week, because this is specifically a Japanese patch. So it could just be for Japan for now. I think that they'll try to get this up for everyone, but we'll have to see if that's actually the case. I did want to cover this though, just in case if the patch does come out by the time this video is uploaded, because I'm sure you all will be wondering what the patch entails.